All right, 2016 Can-Am Maverick 1000R. The biggest side-by-side ATV that I've ever had was an 850 Polaris. Just seemed like everything broke on it. So I was done with Polaris. Haven't had a Can-Am. Was really looking for a Yamaha or a Honda. The Talons are so gosh dang expensive, and anything in Yamaha worth getting was too expensive. So this is where we ended up. Here's what I know about it. These are not the factory wheels. These are 30-inch tires, and these things from the factory had 27s, I believe. So what we did was we had to reclutch it. Dalton Clutch, I guess they're made up in Canada. But Hunt Works, watch a lot of his videos. And so we put some weights in here. This one has a new spring. The secondary has a new spring in it. And then taking it apart, realized that this thing wasn't even put together the proper way. The spring wasn't sitting in there right. And so one of the problems, which is why I figured we should reclutch it, was this thing only got up to 37. It should be doing 75, no problem. So new clutch, rebuild kit, I guess you would call it. Gonna have a new belt on it too. This is the old belt, and you can kind of see where it was glazing up. And so that's a BRP belt. So, yeah. Other things that we noticed that we're gonna have to fix. You're gonna chuckle. So tie rod ends, and the knuckle itself. We got new ones coming. Everything else seemed really, really sturdy, so we're not going to worry about that. All the bushings in here looked good. Definitely need grease. And the wheel bearings had a significant amount of play in them. So got all new wheel bearings going in. Going to get 2 knuckles for the front. And she should be trail ready. Got to put a lot of the beauty clips back in. Those are a pain. But all in all, the thing's got 3,000 miles, 250 hours on it. Looks good. Hopefully it's a good, decent machine. Okay. Got the new bearings pressed in. And got a little bit of time here. My nice clothes and my construction shoes. Don't mind the whole contraption here either, as we're we're working with what we got. What do I think? Everybody presses these in. Every video I've ever seen, they use a press. And so I went over to my buddy's shop and used his, and you could probably get this in and out with a hammer. It wouldn't be fun, but you could definitely probably do it. I'm curious to see, yeah. So curious to see if there's any less play in this, or if most of the play is coming from bushings. This was a project that I was fully committed to. I probably would have done the brakes, probably would have done all of these bushings. Not to say that I'm not fully committed to this project, but I just don't feel like spending the money on all that stuff right now. And so you're gonna get what you get. Interesting that they put bolt front to back on that one and back to front on this top one. Oh, that's going to be a tricky one, isn't it? Yeah, that's going to be a nice one. Should have started with it. I guess because of the... I don't know. Don't know. And then calipers next. That goes there. hub goes on. Is it outside or inside? Ooh, outside. That's awfully tight. And oh, that's gonna be mint. Much less shake. Judging by the way that these axle stubs look, I'm gonna guess that the back is original and these had been replaced at one time. I know the what do you call this, steering rack is aftermarket. Why did I replace this? It seemed fine. Oh, who knows? Who knows anymore? Take that out. Oh, no. All right, so did some stuff without you guys. Did a lot of stuff without you guys. Just wanted to get this project done. We were supposed to get some snow, and I wanted to ride in it, and it didn't even end up happening. So what did I do? Wheel bearings on every side. Cleaned up the plastics a little bit, even though you can't really tell. Put some of the beauty clips back in. I changed the oil, the diff, front, rear, and trans. Front looked amazing. Rear looked a little silvery, and trans looked pretty good, a little silvery. So it was definitely good that I changed them all. I ended up only buying one. They call this a radius rod, but this part number works for the front control arm. I'm going to call it the control arm. Probably the wrong terminology. This is an all balls racing kit, and so it's a lot beefier, a lot better, and it ended up taking a lot of the side-to-side motion out. It took so much out that even though all these bushings look pretty good, I have the most play out of these bushings, which I thought was fascinating. So waiting for Summit to ship 3 more of those, and that'll be done. Everything is greased, everything's back together. The one thing I'm waiting on is, I guess Can-Am, for these large area gaps, make some sort of spacer. And so now I have to go order those. So, but a lot of these other small ones, just got a kit from Amazon with like 100 of them for $9. That it runs. Also, Partzilla. I got a bone to pick with you. So I had never used this stuff before, Colts. I guess it's pretty popular on some of these side-by-sides. And so I gotten an oil change service kit from Partzilla, because it had a filter, it had the crush washer, it had the O-ring, and it had this oil. Well, they sent me 4 quarts of oil for a machine that only takes 2. So by the 3rd quart of oil, and I get it, I should have checked, but by the 3rd quart of oil, I'm like, that's a lot of oil. I probably shouldn't be putting that much oil in this thing. Well, I ended up draining half of it out. Here's the O-ring they sent me. Because I ended up draining it out through the oil filter. So, neither here nor there. When I had my Polaris, I never ordered parts for them because they screwed me over once. So, just a bad taste in my mouth with them. Fixed this lighting. I don't like this light bar. What I think I'm going to end up doing is probably putting maybe 2 pods on the top and completely just getting rid of the light bar. It's so out of place. The curve doesn't, it just makes the thing look obscure. I do want to add some red penny lights in here. I don't know if I'll attach it to, it's a good bracket. I'm sure there's one back here. I'm not sure how I want to attach them. And then I'd also like to add some reverse lights back here somewhere. So that's It's long-term plans, long-term wiring. I'd have to figure out all that stuff. I would probably put the reverse lights on a different switch and have everything else wired to a regular switch, but neither here nor there. She's back together. She runs. Had her up to 50. I still have to break the belt in, so I'm not going to go balls to the walls, but I did do one long run down the street, and all was well. So happy with this thing. Excited to get it onto the trail system and figure out its other quirks, but I think for the most part we got it mostly sorted.